If you've ever downloaded Blender and opened it once and seen a million buttons, a million panels, and just gone, I'll learn it another day. Or if it's just been sitting on your desktop, just gathering dust, just waiting for that one day you're going to sit down and today I'm going to finally learn it. You're not alone in that. Blender can definitely be really overwhelming at first just to look at if you don't know anything about it. There's lots of shortcuts, there's lots of different viewports, cubes, geometry, all these words and jargon. But you don't really need to learn everything at once to make something. So that's the philosophy I'm going to try and follow in this tutorial, and I'm going to work through just the step-by-step, very basic things you need to know. And I promise it will be easier than you think to learn a few things, and you can already make stuff in 3D. If you think of it more like a tool and you're just using a little bit of it, you don't have to master it. You can get over that hurdle of being overwhelmed at learning a new software. So take a deep breath and let's begin. If it's been a long time since you downloaded or you haven't already downloaded it, you should go to blender.org and grab the latest version. They're always adding new features, and there might be some improvements since the last time we tried. Now we're into Blender. Before we look at anything here, let's go to the settings. So we'll go to Edit, Preferences, and just sort out a few settings. Let's go first to the Themes, and then 3D Viewport. And a few things I like to change here are just the colors of some of the things that we see a lot. So for example, the camera, the empty and the light are all black, which when you're in dark mode is pretty hard to see. So I like to make the camera maybe blue, dark blue. The empty can be light green. And let's make the light yellow. That'll just make things a bit easier to see when there's lots of stuff going on. Now let's go to the Input tab. If you're on a laptop or you don't have a numpad on your keyboard, then you want to click Emulate Numpad, which will mean that all the shortcuts for numpad will just go to the normal number keys. If you don't have a mouse, I would really highly recommend getting one for Blender. Even if it's a really cheap one, the cheapest one you can find, it just makes everything a lot less painful. But if you just have a trackpad at the moment, you're going to want to click Emulate 3-button mouse, which means for you to hold down Alt and use the left button, that will take the place of the middle mouse button, which you're going to use a lot for orbiting the camera. If you have a numpad and a mouse, then you don't need to worry about these two settings. Now we've done the basic settings, let's look at some navigation around Blender. So this is the 3D viewport. This is the main window that you'll be looking at 90% of the time you're using the program. It shows everything in the scene, all the objects, cameras, lights, etc. And to move around this, we'll hold down the middle mouse button and then move the mouse, and we can orbit around the center of the screen. And if you move the scroll wheel in and out, it zooms. And if you hold Shift and hold and click with the middle mouse button, you can pan left and right, up and down. So just give that a practice. Try spinning around, moving the camera to where you want it to, zooming in and out, and just get used to that control. If you're using the trackpad, you're going to want to hold down Alt and left click. If you ever get the camera stuck in an awkward place and you want to reset it, you can press the Home key on the keyboard, go to View, Frame All. And if that doesn't work, select an object and then go to View, Frame Selected, or press the period on the numpad. Now let's talk about the three main operations you can do to objects in Blender. So that is moving, rotating, and scaling. So if I select the cube and press G, I can move it, that's the shortcut. If I press S, I can scale. And if I press R, I can rotate. Now you can visualize that if you come up to the top right to gizmos and turn on the move, rotate and scale gizmos. This is how you rotate an object, move it along the axes, the three axes, X, Y, and Z. And this is how you scale an object on those axes. I would recommend not relying too much on using this gizmo, as it can slow you down and prevent you from learning the shortcuts, which are R, S, and G for rotate, scale, and grab or move. Try and ingrain those and it will speed up your workflow a lot. Now if you want to move, rotate, or scale more precisely, you can do it along a specific axis. So you can see the gizmos have the colored controls here, but if you want the shortcut for that, you can press S, for example, to scale, and then if I want that scaling to be only on the Z-axis, I press Z, and that will scale on the Z-axis. And same for G and R. Now if you want to scale on all axes apart from the Z-axis, you would press S to scale and then Shift Z, and now it will scale on everything apart from Z-axis. Now you probably want to do more than just rotate and scale a cube, so let's add some other objects. How do we do that? The shortcut for add is Shift A, and then we can see that we can add all these different things. What we want to look at is mesh. So these are the different primitive objects, which are the base objects for you can create everything out of. Now so far we've been in object mode, but there is another mode which is just as important, and that's edit mode. That's where we can edit the actual geometry of the objects that we're dealing with. Now to get into edit mode, you can either come to the top left and select it, or you can press tab. Now in edit mode, we can either select vertices, edges, or faces. If we go to face select, we can select an individual face, and same for vertex and edge select. If we hold down Shift and click, we can select multiple faces. We press A, it selects all, and Alt A deselects all. We can use the same three operations, move, rotate, scale, in edit mode. So I can move this with G and along an axis. I can scale with S, and I can rotate with R. Now if we want to add more geometry, what we can do is press E to extrude. That works for edges as well, and vertices. And if I select three vertices here and press F, I can fill and create more geometry this way. And if you select the loop cut tool, this is another important tool, you can see it will make a ring where I put the cursor. And if you click and hold, you can decide where this ring is going to go. And you can see how these tools will allow you to model anything basically. There are lots of other tools and methods to learn, but I'm not going to go through them right now. That's it for this first step into Blender. Hopefully you've learned how to move around the scene, add objects, transform them, and go into edit mode. And that's already a lot of things. If it felt mysterious before or complicated before, hopefully it's feeling a bit more like a sketchbook or a sandbox and something you can play with. Don't worry if it's still a bit clunky. That's totally normal. You're just getting used to it. And the important thing is that you open it up and you tried and you started learning. In the next part of this video, I'm going to show you how to make this robot, just using the very basic techniques that we've learned so far, and a couple more things like how to add materials and colors and lighting and render an image, which at the end of the day is the most important thing, making an image rather than just modeling. Remember to keep experimenting and keep playing with the tools and trying new things. That's the best way to learn. Bye.